Hi, welcome to Color Speak. It's Janet here, and I'm back today with my friend Chevonne, who's been on the show before. She is a very special woman. She is doing things that are going to help the kingdom so that what we're taking in filmmaking is not what is destructive, but rather helpful. Chevonne O'Shaughnessy is more than a filmmaker. She's on a mission to uplift hearts, strengthen families, and bring good old-fashioned moral values with a side of popcorn back to the screen. She is a three-time founder, brand builder, and producer. She spent decades creating stories that inspire, entertain, and remind audiences that goodness still sells. Chevonne began on Universal Studios' Backlot in Orlando, producing 6 to 8 movies a year as an independent distributor. And later at PM Entertainment, she helped sell 12 action films annually for nearly a decade, 108 movies total. That was to networks like HBO and USA and SYFY. She was born a trailblazer. She went on to found 3 companies dedicated to clean, uplifting entertainment, distributing more than 500 feature films worldwide, and selling to Hallmark and other major brands. Today, she leads American Cinema to Inspire, or American Cinema Inspires, producing family-friendly films and the hit series Sugar Creek Amish Mysteries. She has over 1 million subscribers, 325 million views worldwide on ACI On the Go, a YouTube channel. And there's so much more I want her to get into because she's been on the show before and we've talked about some of these wonderful things, which are so encouraging. Just when you think, I cannot turn on the television, there is nothing redeeming and nothing of any value. In steps Chevonne to change all of that. So she has a new project we're going to hear about. Welcome to the show, Chevonne.
Thanks, Janet. So good to see you. So good
It's
to
a,
see you again. It's so much fun last time
yeah,
we
it's
had
it's so
together.
much fun. Yes, yes, absolutely. I enjoy you so much. So, what did I miss in the intro? Fill us in. There's so much more about you. You really just have a lot of credentials, which are exciting.
It's been exciting. I decided from just making movies that I decided I wanted to get into the series. Everybody's making not just, films are going to keep their place, but the series is what you can really get the people to watch one after the other and change their minds. So I was looking for series and I just was looking through Guidepost, and I wanted something that wasn't one or two books. It had to have at least a series of 35 or 40 that had at least something that you could follow. So I found this series with Guidepost, and it's called Sugar Creek Amish Mysteries. There's 35 in the season. It continues the same cast through it, and it's just an empowering series. So I did the pilot, which was the first 2 books, and I did that in April. It aired April last year, and it's been on Up Faith and Family for 10 months. And for 10 months, it's been in the top 10 movies. So it still has an audience. And that's when we decided over the summertime to make the series. And we decided to make 8 hours. And we did 8 hours, continue this wonderful, fun casting with the same cast. And it's an Amish lady and an Englisher, and that's anybody that's not Amish is an Englisher. And they solve cute little mysteries around town. Nothing is really horrible. There's a lot of forgiveness around town on it. There's a cute little romance that's developing between them. And we learn about the Amish, but as well as the Amish learn about the Englishers. So it's a fun. We learned about cooking and we learned about just being basic, coming back home to ourselves. The series will air on Up Faith and Family on April 16th, and then again on Up TV on April 23rd. And then it'll be one a week. You'll get a whole brand new one. And we're starting the second season June 1st to have by the end of the year. So we're very excited. Another 8 hours.
Well, as I told you earlier, you and I are friends on social media, so I saw some of your posts from
Yes.
NRB, which was in Nashville this year, which I guess it's usually in Nashville anyway. I was supposed to go to that and didn't make it. I'm so sorry I missed it, but I saw the really cute cast. I fell in love with the cast. I haven't even seen the show, and I thought, my gosh, the cast is adorable. They look like people you would like. Really?
And the cute part is that the main stars are Galadriel and Kevin, who are husband and wife in real life. And then it's a mother-daughter team, and it's Naomi and Esther in the movie, but it's Denise and Riley, and they're a mother-daughter team.
Oh,
So
real
they
life.
are real life, and they are just so cute, and the cast gets along. As I said, to the cast drove themselves or flew themselves to NRB to be there to
Mhm.
be for the things on their own dime. So they love this series, and we all get along really well.
Oh, that's just wonderful. And I would think just when you have a couple together, excuse me, or a mother and a daughter, there's a great symbiotic relationship that's going on there that I would think would make it easier to act and to relax in the part that you're playing. That would be a lot of
It,
fun.
and the nice part was because it was summertime, Galadriel and Kevin have two sons, and they became friends with Esther, who's this daughter of Naomi. So, but we're on a farm. We're in a big farm, and it's going back to we saw a donkey being born. They saw horses being born, so it was a memorable summer for the kids as well, that they got to get out of doing what they normally do and be
That's
with their parents. And
yeah.
they learned how to be very quiet on set.
Yeah.
Shh. So
Yeah.
they
How
took it
old are the
very serious.
boys? Are they really, are they young enough that that was just,
It was 9 and 15, but they behaved incredibly. And Esther, the one who plays Esther, her name is Riley. She is 16. And, but everybody had a great time and it was fun. So what I'm saying is Galadriel and Kevin, the parents were able to relax because their kids were right there. They weren't leaving him at home to be a whole summer of 3 months gone.
wow, what a great opportunity. That's awesome.
It was
So
fun.
you and I were talking earlier, and I said, "Have you read?" I did. I went through a period of time where I read a lot of Amish novels. They were just sweet, and I knew that I could count on them not being, full of junk.
Well, that's the nice thing about the series is the series is very clean, but at the same time, we're not trying to push too much God, but we're trying to keep God in everything we do. We have to think about God and when we do this. So we don't open sermon. We're not trying to convert people, but we're just trying to make sure that we keep God in our lives on a continuous basis. And I think that's the best part of this series.
Yeah, I've always really loved those pieces of literature or movies that kind of sprinkle in a little God, plant a few seeds without hammering it, over your head. And I think that really allows people to step into him, like as if entering a pool slowly but surely and um, being immersed, I guess. So that's a great way of doing it. So you said it's there. I just want to make sure I clarify, backing up just a little bit, where everyone can find your series, Siobhan. So Guideposts has something called
The
Up.
books.
Okay.
No, iPost has the books. If you want
Oh,
to
they
read
have
the
a book
books, the books are
series.
on there.
Got it.
The TV channel has a streaming platform first, so it's going to be on their streaming platform, which is Up Faith and Family, and that will be April 16th. And
Okay.
then the television, which is Up TV, will be on April 23rd.
Got it. I'll put all of this in the show
Most
notes.
people don't have TV anymore.
Yeah,
So it's an app. It's an app, Up Faith and Family, and
right.
you can get it on Amazon.
And then you can stream it to your TV.
Yes,
Yeah, that's what I do
yes.
with another. Okay, good job. Okay, so what else? I mean, so I want to know more about overall what your vision is for this show, because I know you are not limiting yourself to just this. This is obviously your focus now, and it's an exciting time with it getting ready to debut.
It's exciting, but at the same time, we're already starting on the second season. We're going to
Right?
start
Yeah.
another 8 hours. So if you count, we did the pilots, that's two. We have eight. So we've only done 10 books. Now we're going to do another 8 books. That would be 18, but I still have another 18 to go. So the nice thing about it is there's enough IP and storytelling to keep it going. So it's very exciting. The town of Sugar Creek loves us and they're so inviting. It is a town that really does exist.
I was going to
And
ask
it is,
that.
yeah, it is.
Wow.
It's in Ohio. It's in
Okay.
Ohio. It's about an hour and a half outside of Cleveland, near Akron. It is 50% Amish and 50% Englishers. So when you go to the bank, There's stalls for the buggies or things for the buggies, and they have for the cars. When you go to the grocery store, they have the things for the buggies and they have for the car, which I found totally amazing.
That
And
is,
when
yeah.
I hear the clippy cloppy of the horse things, it just makes me relax. I mean, literally, I feel like when I come back or when I go from LA to there, I just feel like, oh, everything is so much calmer. I get to relax
Mhm.
and just start enjoying instead of feeling all the pressures of traffic, business, and everything else that comes when you're in Los Angeles.
Oh yeah, I know the area well. That's where my family's
Yes.
from. So I just keep thinking about when I lived in Westchester, Pennsylvania. So I went to school at Temple, but I lived in Westchester and there it was an Amish community. And then if a little further west, you probably have heard of Intercourse, Pennsylvania. There was a restaurant. I don't know if it's still around. It was called the Good and Plenty. You could go in and sit at these long tables
Oh,
and
nice.
just meet with other people. And buses would bring tourists in to eat here. And you always got seated with just people from around the world. And big platters of food would come out. It was so fun. And I was always so appreciative that the Amish ran that place and invited us in. I enjoyed it so much. I enjoyed living in a place where you don't see a lot of that in Kansas City. Um, but definitely in Pennsylvania, we were sharing the roads with buggies occasionally out in that area.
Well, I have to tell you one story. I met a factory. I met a wood bending factory that is by Amish. And it was lunchtime. So the Amish were doing their thing. And the guy who owned was a friend of them, let us walk through the factory. And it was interesting seeing how they bend wood because it's steaming and then they bend it and they have to brace it. But I
Wow.
opened up a door, and all of a sudden, when I opened the door, it was the Amish playing pickleball. They had built a pickleball court in the factory for them. In their outfits, they're playing pickleball. And if they weren't playing pickleball, they were playing bean toss. And if they were playing bean toss, they were playing games. Each and every one was doing something together and playing. And then I left that factory and I went to my own set. And literally on set, nobody was talking because everybody was looking at their screens. And I thought it's so sad that the Amish had it more fun and having enjoying each other than sitting on phones, which was what we used to do. We used to talk to one another and we used to enjoy each other. The younger generation don't know how to do that anymore.
Do you know, a couple of years ago, Siobhan, I took a job working as a jewelry manager at a department store. It's a specific to the Midwest department store, and we couldn't have our phones, and they had to be upstairs in our lockers. And I really appreciated it. To me, I was there a couple of years. It was an exercise. Well, first of all, in getting me out of the house and getting to know people, and to be
Mhm.
part of something that was bigger than me. Just a team of people. But the customers were so great, and I loved being fully present. That's the way I described it all of the time. It's the way things used to be. You are fully present. There are no
Mhm.
computers, there's no phone, there are just people and the interactions you have with them. And I think we all should endeavor to do that occasionally. Just put our phones away for a while. And sometimes I'll do that. I'll set it aside and just roam around the house doing all that I need to do without looking at the phone. But when you have kids or other things
Yeah.
going on, you feel like, oh my word, 63 messages. Are you kidding? I have
Yes.
girls, so well, I have boys and girls, but it's the girls that literally I'll come back to my phone and I have 35 messages I've missed. But we need to get back to that. That's so great.
Just be did fun and talking and talking. And I find, the young kids on my set are all on anti-anxiety medicine. And I find them that I think it's the news, it's the clicks, it's the thing that these phones are giving it to them. It's constant. It's constant alerts or constant things that they're not learning to just relax.
Exactly. So when you're in that atmosphere, how long do you spend on the set, Siobhan? How long are you immersed in that culture? Because it feels like from what I'm gleaning is you're immersed in this culture as you're,
Oh, for 3 months.
yeah. Oh,
I'm there for
for all
three
summer.
months. All
Okay.
summer we were there.
Wow.
And yeah, I mean, of course, the Amish are not in my movie, but we met a lot of the Amish people. They're incredible. The Amish people review my scripts, so they know that I'm not doing anything against them.
Okay.
And that was one of the reasons why I was going to go to one time Pennsylvania to shoot an Amish movie. But the governor of Pennsylvania made a commitment to the Amish that they would not give any tax incentive to any story, either good or bad, on Amish after that Breaking Amish story. So that's why I've never gone to Pennsylvania.
Mhm.
And there's more Amish in Ohio anyhow. Did you know that?
I did. Well, actually, I think I did. That's
Yeah,
amazing.
there's more Amish in
Yeah.
Ohio. So they have the incentive, the people, and I find them a little more liberal. I have shot in Kentucky. They're a little stronger. They're not as friendly, but the ones in Sugar Creek, they're very, very friendly.
Hmm. Well, knowing that they have your script ahead of time, I feel like maybe that would be really conducive to a flourishing relationship with you, in as much as they would see an opportunity to share their story and to have it celebrated.
Yes.
Yeah.
And to make sure we do it right too.
Yeah.
They are also there to look at the costumes and say, "Oh, Chevonne, you didn't say this correctly." So they are there, very cute. They're there to help us as much as they can to make sure we do it as accurate as we can.
What's your favorite story that happened as you were on scene this summer? Is there anything you can share with us?
Well, it's what I find so cute is when my two girls, um, Esther and Naomi, and the characters, but are Riley and them, are dressed in their Amish clothes, and then they walk around town.
Mhm.
And then you see the Amish people looking at them going, they're trying to figure out if they're from visiting from another place, if what part of it they are. And they literally really think, and then when they find out they're movie actors, then they go, oh, it's like if we go to restaurants or in between sets, they get very confused. But it's so cute watching the Amish try to figure out who they are.
I'm putting you on the spot with these questions, but have you seen any miracles happen on set, or have you seen demonstrable ways that the God, that our Lord has shown up and been a part of it? Anything special or out of the ordinary happen?
I don't know if I would say anything out of the ordinary, but I can say when we're making these type of movies, everybody is very happy and content. I feel like when they come out of some of the crew were sometimes in a horror film or something, and everybody's anxious. When they come to ours, every morning you're just happy. You're happy. You're doing some great lines. The words that we're saying, the things that people are saying in the script are really great, and it's just a fun time. I mean, there's not. I mean, there was no fighting. There was nobody with ego. It was just great. Um, did I think somebody changed? I don't know, but I think everybody felt good about it, and I think that's what I like about is that my movies make you feel good.
Well, I think that the fact that everything seems to run so smoothly and people get along and enjoy one another, that's testimony in and of itself that he's present and there's light there, there's glory there, which is so cool. Which reminds me of the convo we had earlier that we didn't have on air, which is I wish that we could impress upon people the importance of staying away from those kinds of films that are horror films or those that create trouble. And people think, okay, it's some sort of weird vicarious thrill at the time, but what they don't realize is they're partnering with darkness. And it's sticky like glue. Like once you step into that arena, you open a portal or a window in which you invite that participation in that's hard to shake off anyway.
Well, there's 1,200 of those just made last year compared to only 365 of inspirational titles. So we're fighting a big battle.
Mhm. Well, and that's what I was thinking sometimes, especially during this summer months, not so much, but when the TV goes on here, I'm hard pressed to find something that's riveting. I do enjoy, I enjoy documentaries and I love information. I love knowledge. Um,
Mhm.
but even so, sometimes those are dark enough that I think, I don't need to know how that happened. I know what happened. Um, and then the other is, why would you torture yourself with this kind of stuff, violence and ridiculous, gratuitous sex or whatever it is, whatever it is. I feel like we are crying out as a generation across the globe for new content that provides us contentment and encourages us and makes us feel joyful and hopeful. So this is not your first foray into this. And I love that that's your commitment. We need more people like you.
Thanks, Janet.
Remind our audience, for those that didn't tune in the first time, some of the other things that you've done.
I've done Love Finds You in Sugar Creek. That was when I first started, which was about 11 years, and that's how we found the town of Sugar Creek. It's another guidepost book. And again, we had the send it to the mayor, and the mayor sent it to the Amish, so they approved it. It's a 12-year-old book, and it's still doing amazing on our YouTube channel, which is called ACI on the Go. Then we did Love Finds You in Charm, all of Guideposts, and we did Love Finds You in Valentine. Now, each one of these are different cast, but the books were doing great. And
Apologize. I did not turn my phone off, Chevonne. I'm so sorry. And I know who this is. This is my nearly 2-year-old granddaughter that likes to FaceTime Mimi every day. So sorry about that.
so we did plus one in an Amish wedding. We've done a lot. I've done nine Amish movies. Now that with the eight, I've now done 15. So I've done a lot of Amish movies. I like them. We've done some cooking ones as well, romance ones. So we keep on trying to figure out what the thing is, but now I find that starting with books that already has a following makes it easier to sell than just creating a new brand. It just makes it hard. The market is very hard right now, very difficult. So just getting a little more clever and how you make sure you can get a sale done is what we're trying to do.
So you find the books that have already been done and they already have a following, and then you you air them. Well, how do you find that was my question. How do you find your talent? What is that like?
But well, Galadriel and Kevin had done a couple of movies with me, and they're so great. So I keep on using them. I mean, Hallmark uses the same cast all the time too,
Right.
as well as GAC. So if we get a couple that are just great and they work with you, because we're not making them at huge budgets at all,
Mhm.
and they're just there and they don't complain and they're just fantastic. So I keep using them. And then we bring some new ones, and the director is incredible. We had 145 different actors go through our series, and
Wow.
she chose every one of them.
So your director was your casting director as well, your
Yes.
casting
Sandra
person.
Martin, she did
Yeah.
it. She did it. Amazing.
Mm. That sounds so fun. And those movies that you spoke about, the ones that you've done in the past, those are all on ACI to go,
On the
which
go. Yeah.
is viewers can find that on YouTube to
Yes.
watch those.
And they're all free.
It's free content. I was just going to say that. So
Content.
what a beautiful gift. You don't have to turn on the tube. You just get
Nope.
on your computer and watch these things streaming. What a beautiful blessing. I love that. So what do you think? Are you going to stick with the Amish theme? It seems to be that it's worked.
Uh, it works.
Yeah.
No, I'm going to, like I said, continue with at least hopefully 35 books. But then at the same time, we're thinking of doing a ranch thing, a ranch one, kind of like a Heartland. We're building another one of that to do in Kansas City, hopefully.
Well, then you'll have to come over here to my property. Maybe you could shoot a
I
few
know.
scenes. That
We
would be
could probably do
fun.
that.
Oh my gosh, I would love
Yes.
that. Well, when we were in church in the city during the holidays, sometimes they would send a crew out here to film with my neighbors have sheep. So we had goats and llamas. The neighbors have sheep. Um, and the other neighbors have donkeys and horses. We have a collection of animals around here. We're about ready to get some cows. So we
Love
could set
it.
you up. I have lots of chickens and oh my gosh, I have a barn full of cats. I have so
Cats.
many barn cats. Oh my gosh. But yeah, you know what? I used to run them in, fun fact, this is so off the track, but I used to run them into the city to get them spayed and neutered, and I just couldn't keep up with it anymore. And I just thought, well, whatever. And it somehow nature works itself out. Um, I have nary a mouse or rat or any of that to be found. So, and they keep the snakes away too, because they'll go after snakes. So it's kind of nice. I don't know how many I have out there, probably like 15.
That's about it. How many do you have out there?
A lot. And then there was a set that lost their mama this last year. So my daughter and her boyfriend and I, we all just nursed these cats. And now they're just the friendliest. They're not the typical feral cats that run away. So they're always getting into mischief. If I open a window, they're trying to figure out how to get into the window. They're jumping up on the ledge and trying to get through the screen or I mean, the things that they do, it's just been, we went through a renovation here. I'll just say this really fast for cat lovers. You'll understand this. This is so funny. So there was somehow an exhaust pipe they kept getting through.
Oh, wow.
It needed to be sealed off during renovation when the kitchen was torn out. And I'm in the bath one day and I hear meow, meow, and I'm thinking, oh my gosh, it sounds like it's close. Sure enough, there were cats in my house. You know,
Wow.
I
And the
just kept
two.
finding,
Yeah.
I just kept finding them. They were like magic cats. They would appear until I figured out how they were getting in through the pipes or through the vents. And that I told the construction guys, the contractor, I said, listen, seal it off, but just for heaven's sake, make sure there's nothing in there when you seal it off. And
That is
on
funny.
a farm, there's always something there, there's just animals they're wild cards every time. And so you never know. Like I have a chicken that she doesn't want to be down in the she wants to be up on the porch, and I call her Clarice because she's such a Clarice and she's so funny. She just lays her eggs on the patio furniture, and the cats are always there, excited to see her lay her egg because they can cart it off. They know that the eggs are yummy. Anyway, I need to be quiet now.
Love it. I love it.
Yeah,
Clarice. I like Clarice.
Clarice the
That's
hen.
cute.
Okay,
Yeah.
so yeah, so I think my question to you was circling back around. Um, what's next after? Do you have any other ideas at this point?
And then we're trying to do some verticals. I mean,
Yeah.
that's a new thing that we're trying to do instead of the mean ones that they're doing, we're trying to do some inspirational verticals.
What's a vertical?
Those are like your phone ones, so they're only like a minute or 2 minutes long.
Got it. Okay. Yeah. So you're
So we're
always,
yeah, trying to come up with a new thing of what's because as I said, the attention span of the younger generation is getting less and less and less. You know, when we used to make action movies, it was every 7 minutes. Now it's like down to seconds on young kids on it. If they like something or they don't.
yeah, that's frustrating for me. I'm the kind of person when I read a novel, for example, I want it not to end. I want more. And I know that when I wrote my novel, I heard, oh, you have to scale back, scale back. I mean, it was just as short as I could make it, but it still wasn't. Because I think, how do you do that and adequately tell a story? There are other questions. There are things that you're not ever going to answer. I think I trimmed like 80,000 words on that thing. I mean, it's ridiculous. Well, because it was over multi-generations and I wanted to be able
Mhm.
to, um, just adequate character development required it, but no, had to take all of that out. When you talk about series, I meant to address this earlier. I love that because series are those that when you love something, you're hooked in, and you may not have 3 hours to watch a movie, but you have an hour maybe to devote. And then it's like a fine wine or a great piece of chocolate cake. You want to just take a little bit of a nibble at a time and then know that you can go back to it another time and that it's going to be there and it's going to feed your soul again and again. So I do like the series idea. That's fantastic.
And they're so cute, and you're gonna fall in love with them.
I'm
Um,
excited.
Naomi, Cheryl, Levi, and Esther. You're gonna fall in love with the four characters. They're great.
Well, I already fell in love with the pictures you shared on social media. Yeah, I really liked the cast. They were darling. And you said you brought the horse and buggy into
Yes.
NRB, yeah, which was at the Opryland.
I didn't bring the horse. I brought the Amish buggy.
Buggy rather.
No, I
Yeah,
bought the buggy.
that's awesome.
Yes.
What else do you want
Yeah.
to tell us today?
Um, I'm good. I think that's about it.
Yeah, I just think
Yeah.
there's so much I want to ask that, in terms of filmmaking and producing. And I think we covered a lot of that the first time you were on. So make sure if those of you that
Yeah.
are tuning in today, aspiring filmmakers, aspiring actors, aspiring novel writers, all of y'all, just check out the earlier interview that we did. How long has it been now? Last year? Was it last?
I think no, I think it's 2 years ago.
What? Wow. A lot has happened in 2 years.
Yes, a lot has
That's
happened.
Yeah, it went so fast. But I'm delighted. So just to we're going to look for Up Faith and Family, and that's an app we can get. And
April 16th.
on April 16th, that'll be available, which is coming up. Then we have Up TV on April 23rd. And that is also an app we can get on our phones to
No,
stream. No.
that's on the TV. That's
Oh,
on the
that's on
TV.
the
You have
TV.
to have
Okay.
that TV. You have to either have direct spectrum or whatever.
Mhm.
And each one will drop one a week. So each one will have one a week will be dropped.
Okay. Indefinitely. And then do you start over? Or is it out
Um,
there for people to catch whenever? I mean, they can, it's not like, it's like your typical streaming service, pardon my
yes.
ignorance, but you can get on and see any episode at any point.
No,
No. Okay.
no. Once it goes on June 20th on 16th, then one week you'll have one new episode, then the next week. So until June 4th, then all of them will be on. Same thing on the TV channel,
Was a
June
better way.
11th, all of them. You'll have watched all of them. And maybe they'll put them on again.
Okay, that was a better way to phrase it. But if you're waiting and the third episode dropped and you realize you want to go back to the second episode to
You can do
read.
one and two. Yes,
Got
you can
it.
do one and two.
Yeah,
Yes.
okay, perfect. Just want to make
Right.
sure because I think a lot of times people who are interested in this kind of thing, they're confused as to how to proceed or how to find it. They want to find it. It's
Mhm.
important to them, but then yeah, this seems so super easy. And then don't forget ACI on the go, everyone, because you can get right on YouTube and check out some of that stuff. And
Yes.
we want to support independent filmmakers like Chevonne. This is one of the ways that we can respond to the call to action, right? It takes so little for us to be able to do this. And at the same time, we get to enjoy ourselves. So that's awesome. Thanks for
Well,
doing what you
yes.
do.
Thank you. It was so great talking to you. Thank
It
you,
was
Jen.
really, really great talking to you, Siobhan. So everyone stay tuned for the Sugar Creek. Give us the title again. Sugar Creek Amish series, right? I didn't
Amish
say
Mysteries.
Amish Mysteries. Sugar Creek
Amish Mysteries.
Amish Mysteries. It'll be
Yes.
a good time. All right.
Mhm.
Thanks for joining Color Speak today.
Thanks.